man alive. Well, here's one thing. Ole Miss does not have to worry about making the SEC championship, do they? How about it, Lane? Your ass will be sitting on the couch just like me when the SEC championship comes around because your Ole Miss Rebels got defeated by Billy Napier and them Florida Gators. Upset City. We're only one game in and already massive upset this weekend in the SEC. Is Billy Napier coach of the year? Probably not. But they did beat Ole Miss 24-17. All that money spent on Lane and this roster for nothing. Beat by a true freshman quarterback who is awesome, by the way. But Lane Whiffin forever. Lane should get that tattooed now. I hope someone's got the guts to ask him about the SEC championship in the postgame. I'm sure they won't. And Tennessee's probably in now. They got to beat Vanderbilt, of course, but that was wild. I've had so many Tennessee fans reach out to me, first time in their life, rooting for Florida Gators, and Florida finally came through for them. So, best team in the SEC could be the Florida Gators. I mean, they're hot right now. South Carolina, they're right there too. Florida. It's hard to argue against that. Shade, there he is.
Oh, man. Lane Whiffin is back. Florida don't want no loser coach, you know? Oh, man. Mike, just think about all of it. I mean, just all the bullshit. The SEC championships, the trolling online. I mean, Lane Kiffin has set this thing up to just get drugged through the mud, which he will be all week, Mike. I mean, Ole Miss dreams killed. They're worried about SEC championships, man. They better be worried about what damn bowl game they're going to go to now.
Is Billy off the hot seat? They're asking.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
I think Kiffin's seat might be hotter than old Billy's right about right now. How about it?
It's as simple as this, Mike. I mean, you got the LSU game. You got that monkey off your back. You got a top. I mean, that's all we've been painting the picture of the future for the Florida Gators, and we've got to see a couple of spots, a little highlight here or there. But damn, I mean, how can you not be excited about the future of the Florida Gators if you're a fan down there?
Roaster says Sunbelt Billy is transforming into Florida Billy right before our eyes. How about it?
Oh, my gosh, man. I mean, it's been crazy. What a crazy day. We're just getting cranked up here. I told you upsets were in the air. Now, honestly, I had no idea it would be down there swamp. Everybody's going to pull my predictions up. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, this is not the one I had on the meter, but man, they just would not let him go. And you could go back and forth. I feel like if you're watching this Ole Miss game, there's a few things you're just like, damn, what are we doing? Why can't we? You've got some key injuries. You got some ridiculous drops. We talked about some of the greatest receivers playing for Ole Miss. I saw some of the worst drops. Damn, Jackson can't keep his damn lid on. It was just one thing after another. It was almost like this game was meant to be lost.
Yeah, and Jake, appreciate the donation. Does this help A&M? Certainly, because Ole Miss was ahead of A&M, but A&M doesn't really need people to lose. A&M just needs to win out. They're in the SEC championship. Win that, you're a top 4 seed. So it certainly helps, but who it really helps, Shane, is Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now Tennessee, they're taking care of. I mean, it's UTEP. They're not getting a bump for beating UTEP, but they'll move up because Ole Miss is moving back.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting here, Shane, as a Tennessee man. All you got to do, of course, what could go wrong? What could go wrong facing red-hot Diego Pavia in Nashville? But if Tennessee beats Vanderbilt now after this, I guarantee it. They're in. They're in the college football playoff, especially after Indiana got exposed.
Yeah.
They'll still put Indiana in there, I think. I don't think they should, but I think they will. But all of a sudden, that doesn't hurt you at all. And who knows? Notre Dame could still lose, and then maybe that's how we still get. Hell, I mean, this is going to sound crazy, Shane. I mean, it would take some chaos because I think Ole Miss is done.
Yeah.
But if Notre Dame's losing and let's say Indiana loses, again next week, I mean, hell, Ole Miss may not be. They're probably done, but they may not be if we get some chaos.
Right. Well, I mean, we can't just pencil in Texas A&M now, can we? Can't pencil in Bama. Shit, Georgia was down for a little bit during the UMass game, so yeah. I don't think anything is settled. I'm not saying that Ole Miss is out, but damn, I mean, they truly are going to.
They're like 99% out, but
they're pretty far. They're like, I mean, some craziness has to happen in front of them, but I mean, the craziness has already begun today, Mike, and we're not even to 3:00 yet.
It don't matter what time, it don't matter what day, though. Cousin JR, what a guy. Come on. With the donation, he just gifted another membership. It's time to Blue Raspberry Guy Blue. Welcome to the family. And Blue's a Tennessee guy. I can tell by his avatar, so he's having a hell of a day right there. But, yeah, someone's making fun of me, Ole Miss #1 rankings. I mean, hell, I did. I thought heading into this game, they were the best team in the SEC, and I would love to hear arguments against it. I mean, I think most people had them top 3 guaranteed, but that's just the season that it's been, Shane. And credit the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
For, again, freshman quarterback. They got Montrell Johnson back. He looked like a beast. How about their Shane, Florida had, I believe it was either 3 or 4 yards in the third quarter. That's it. I mean, they got completely dominated in the third quarter. Yet a young team, you think, oh, okay, the tide's turning. Ole Miss is turning it up on defense. Yet then they just get up off the mat and dominate the fourth quarter, have 2 big interceptions of Jackson Dart. I think Florida's defense, I can't ever recall, I'm trying to wrap my brain here, Shane. I can't remember a side of the ball being so pathetic for half the season, and then in the second half, I don't want to call them juggernauts, but hell, they're probably a top 5 defense in the SEC right now. That's incredible.
It's up there, man. It is up there. The only one I would compare it to is Alabama, as abysmal as they were at the start of this season and kind of how they've turned it on here lately. But you were right. I mean, it's not something we expected to see down there in the swamp,
Oh, shout out Kid. He nailed us, Shade. And he called it on the Thursday night show. Double cousin curse 2 weeks in a row. They ought to be paying us for these bad takes. You know what?
Oh, I tell you, brother. What do they do? Speaking of pay, what do? You go all in. You build the perfect roster, you go out here, you collect the money from your boosters, you do the last dance, the whole shit in the offseason, Mike. It goes right out the window. We're not talking a Georgia loss. We're talking a Kentucky loss. We're talking a Florida Gator loss here, Mike. These are Whiffin losses. And what do they do going into this offseason, Mike? How do they sell the dream now?
Yeah, like I said, it has been a crazy season, but that's no damn excuse for showing that you are, what was it, 20 point, I don't know off the top of my head, but beating Georgia by whatever you beat them by, the worst whooping I've ever seen Georgia take since maybe the second year of Kirby Smart being down there. Then you turn right around and you lose to Billy Napier, Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, how in the hell does that happen? That should never happen. I don't care how crazy of a year that is, but that does speak to coaching, and that does speak to something we highlighted all week. And I think I do so many interviews, it's hard to remember. I think it was Texags. I said, well, you can't have everybody's looking at Mike Elko and say, oh, they're looking ahead. You can't have your damn head coach 2 weeks left, 2 conference games remaining, saying we don't want to play in Atlanta. Get the hell out of here. You're not even going to make it to Atlanta if you don't win this game. And he just proved he's Lane Whiffin yet again. I mean, that's awful.
Looking ahead.
I'm kind of kidding when I say hot seat. He shouldn't be on the hot seat, but I wouldn't give him money for players after this. I mean, it was all there right in front of you, and you lost 2 games. I mean, hell, this game wouldn't even kill you if the Kentucky loss didn't happen, but it did happen. Yeah. So this is multiple games where Ole Miss, I feel like they blew it. I'm not trying to take away from Florida, but your opportunities are there. You didn't seize them. You're going for it. I mean, I called it out at the time, Shane, and those Ole Miss people, even the guy that runs the NL, he gave me hell for it. But I get it. There's drama behind the scenes. Maybe Judkins was not the most popular guy in the locker room. I don't give a shit. You saw today what a joke it is. You're running a defensive tackle because you don't have a power back.
Right.
Because you let his ass walk to Ohio State, and guess what? They're entrenched in the playoff. And now it's not just because of him or anything, but clearly they missed that guy.
Yeah.
And that's fine to let him go. That's fine if he's an issue and you're done with it. Well, you got to replace his ass. And you didn't. And that's why you got a defensive tackle running the football. And he's been fantastic. It's a fun, cute little story, but it sure as hell didn't work today. And it cost you a damn playoff spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mike, I mean, Ole Miss had shots. They had shots. They got in the red zone plenty of times, walked away with the 0 points several times. It's there were opportunities for Ole Miss Rebels to win this game. And, as much as we want to blame the players or the refs or anything like that, this was coaching, brother. This is coaching right here. And Lane just got out. He got emotional. He let his emotions dictate what he want to call, like he's playing college football 25 on the PlayStation. You can't reset this game, man. You mess up, you're down there, get 3 points, tie this thing up, take the stress off of it. Nothing. 0 points came from it. So, yeah, I feel like you got to – I'm not saying Lane's a bad coach, and I'm not saying that he will never win a championship, but he squandered an opportunity this season, Mike. It's in the rearview mirror, and unfortunately for those Rebel fans that would love to go to an SEC championship, they will not get to experience that.
And shout out to Jacob. My whole rant, I bet to give him a shout out. Jacob just joined the channel, Shane. Jacob Chastain, welcome to the family.
We're so drunk and off. Yeah.
Foster says, hey, Shane, the Egg Bowl. I mean, that all of a sudden, what the hell's Ole Miss got to play? Let's see what Mississippi State looks like tonight against Missouri. Yeah. But if hell, I picked it. So I picked it. That means Missouri's probably going to win by 50. But next week, what does Ole Miss got to play for? I mean, Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. You tell me right now, Mississippi State wins the Egg Bowl, I'd believe you. Because I say, oh, they quit because they know the playoffs out and all that. So all of a sudden, that's kind of interesting. All these Florida fans, Shane, they're in love, and they should be, with old Lagway. He's the savior. Jake, this is a good comment here. Shane Princely, so glad he transferred.
Oh, I know. That's another one. I saw a picture of him walking in the stadium and stuff with a Florida mask on. You know what I'm saying? Just the ultimate troll job. They came down there like big bad bullies, and Florida just punched him right in the damn mouth, Mike.
How about
Physical game. I loved it.
Pop goes the culture. I appreciate you, brother. He's going through it right now. I've been an Ole Miss fan my entire life. They are now, and have always been, a disappointment and fall apart when things are at stake. So they deserve all the hate and the jokes they have coming. Can't disagree with that, can you?
No, but again, I hate it for the fans because they were there a lot longer than Lane Kiffin was there. They were there a lot longer than these players, Judas Wells and all these jokers that came in here to save the day. I'm telling you, it was fun. It was a fun story. It was a creative narrative that we had coming into this year, and there was no reason they should have lost to the Florida Gators, but they did. And yes, I hate it for the fans. I don't hate it for the people I don't hate it for this current regime, Mike, but I do hate it for these guys because all they want to do is to win, man. I mean, you get that close. I've been there. We've all been there. SEC, there's 16 teams. There's at one point, all of us have been close to the top, and something happened, and we didn't make it. We're not all Alabamas, Georgias, and LSUs. You know what I'm saying? This was Ole Miss's shot, and I hate it because it's like one of those what do you call them? The things that come around at night every so often, comets or whatever. You see one? Yeah, I don't know what you call them. Meteorites, whatever. You're watching them freaking things coming. And I can imagine 2,000 years ago, you see one of the things, it's like, you'll never see that again. I don't know if that meteorite's coming around in another 3 years. I don't know if it's coming around in another 300 years, but you were so damn close to it and nobody got to see it. So, yeah, I hate it for the Rebs.
Here's what I'm talking about. Cousin David, he's an almost got 9 fucking points by not taking field goals.
Just saying.
Another thing we highlight, again, Shane, when your defensive tackles your short yardage back, maybe kick the fucking field goal. Again, you got an elite defense.
Yeah.
I guess he's a fantastic true freshman. So, not all true freshmen are the same. But lean on your defense. Kick them field goals. Again, maybe in fairness to Lane, they did miss a short one. But, man, you've got a very accurate kicker. That cost you the damn game. This ain't this ain't the Ole Miss team that's scoring 40, 50 points this year. They're just not.
No.
They're a lot better on defense. Take the points when you get down there. I thought he learned his lesson. He learned it against Georgia. He didn't learn it here. I don't get it. Lane Whiffin forever. You know what?
Well, even with the Pegues runs, it's like, when did we start going off tackle with this big bastard? You know, it's like, you're 300 pounds. Go straight. You know, we need 1 yard. We don't need 8 yards to the sideline here. So
Yeah.
I think they got a little too fancy, a little too big for their britches. Pun intended there, Mike, and it caught them. You know, I would rather just have Jackson out there. I mean, hell, he likes to run apparently, so just have him out there running the ball.
Hey, how about Jim? Jim just became a member. Jim, welcome
to the family.
And then Pecan Pie, Shane's favorite cousin here.
Yeah.
He gave us $10. Bet an uncomfortable amount of money against Indiana first half in total. Wife will let me sleep inside tonight. How about them balls? There you go, Pecan. We appreciate you. John Patterson. Oh, he gave us 1998. Shane feels like 98. Lane will always be a VFL.
Oh, Mike. And I'm going to tell you, brother, coming from a VFL myself, don't let Vanderbilt. Don't let Vanderbilt. I mean, you know, that would be the most Tennessee thing ever, is to finally punch your stamp, then go to Columbia and get your ass kicked by South Carolina. You know, it's like, no, go to get Nashville and Vanderbilt beat you. We just can't have that one.
And shout out Vicky Gator, give us $5. Florida may have just truly broken the shoe curse. Marco Wilson can rest.
Well, he got, if I'm not mistaken, he got cut this year. So I think for what that's worth, that's what a lot of folks are saying down there. It's the fact he's no longer in the NFL.
That makes sense. How about Blueberry? Our guy Blueberry. Vols back in, baby. Yes, sir. They are definitely in, but they got to finish the deal. Don't pull a Lane Whiffin next week. Low T Hypel. You know, Diego Pavia, maybe his final college game.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna play his damn hair on fire. You know what I mean? He's gonna play like his hair is on fire to beat Tennessee, send them packing. You know what?
Yeah. Tennessee, South Carolina, you know, you're moving up slowly but surely. It's just gotta have these wins. Just be patient, sit there and watch these teams unfold in front of you, because again, we got Texas. I picked Auburn to win this thing. You know, there's the Texas A&M Auburn. If that happens, they're out of it. If Texas loses to A&M the following week, we don't know, because they're talking about strength of schedule. So there's a lot of
all
crazy.
of a sudden, someone in the chat mentioned Texas strength of schedule looks a lot better. They whooped the hell out of Florida. You know what I mean?
That's true. Damn, that's right, man.
And shout out Logan. Logan just became a member. Logan, welcome to the family. Jim, he gave us $10. Shane says Lane Whiffin has mastered doing less with more. I mean, him and Ryan Day, you know, they belong in a group of their. Is anyone else, Shane, that you can think of? Let's keep it SEC if we can.
Yes.
Who has done less with more?
Less with more.
Maybe Fulmer. Of course, Fulmer won the big one, so we can't quite go there. Les Miles. Of course, he won, but that was with Saban players.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Who followed up Urban Meyer? You know, that was there was a few hanging around.
Bold bus champ down there.
I mean, if we're talking about Florida, I'd have to give that some research, Mike. I don't want to just throw one out there. But
and how about Eric Jones? He just became a member. Eric B. Jones, welcome to the family. And shout out Robert. We appreciate you, brother. He gave us $50. Shane, hold on here.
Damn, Rob.
Give him a little ka-ching. The SEC is the NFL. Any given Saturday, great job, guys. You pick me up on them hard days. Robert, we appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, cuz. And I tell you, it's getting wild, man. It's getting wild. And one of the things I'm watching is this whole money thing, Mike. I mean, it's coming out. We saw it with LSU and the wide receiver on the sideline. And they're saying, hey, just transfer out. You know, that's probably what's going to happen. You got Michigan coming out here committing to $50 million for the NIL collective next year. I mean, this is going to be a race. Hell, Tennessee, as happy as we are right now, let's not forget where our favorite recruit's at right now. You know what I'm saying? Up there chopping it up with them State fans. So I feel like this is going to be one of the craziest off seasons ever, Mike. It's going to be absolute arms race.
And then Jacob says, held my damn phone for what felt like 75 minutes just to get a recording of you guys welcoming me. Then Shane F's it up by being out of sync. Couldn't have asked for it better.
Let's try it again real quick. You gave $10.
All right. Welcome.
No, wait. No. You got to say, hey, Jacob. And then,
oh, hey, Jacob. Welcome
to the family.
Jesse gave us $5. He says Lane Giffin's the gift that keeps on giving to Tennessee fans. Go Vols. God bless Lane a Whiffin.
Oh, buddy.
And Pop goes to culture. One more. I'm feeling you, brother. With Ole Miss, I don't understand how a team can be so inconsistent. It's wild, man. And again, I don't blame them for going all in. I think that was the right move. You had the team.
Yeah.
You should be in the college football playoff. Hell, I mean, until yesterday, you had me convinced you were the best team in the SEC, which to me means best team in the country. They had a realistic shot, I thought, to win the national championship until today. But I just can't imagine how, if you're running Ole Miss NIL, you ask for these people to pony up again. I mean, how could you? I mean, and how could you give any more? You know,
you can't, but you got to. I mean, you got to realize, Mike, they're not all going to the NFL. They're not all, there's
Right.
still a lot of athletes going to be coming back, and you're going to try to keep them on your roster. You just talked about it a couple of weeks ago that arguably the best backup in the SEC sitting right there in that locker room. So there's still a lot of positive things that can happen around your program, Mike. But, I think one of the things I've noticed in this season is, like, especially in the SEC, there's a lot of great, just absolutely great football teams, but they all got that one Achilles heel. They all got that one thing. And I felt like today it was the running game. Just Ole Miss, the lax. Not having a defensive lineman try to get your first downs is stands out like a sore thumb. If they had a running game to complement, what Jackson Dart and company were able to do, then maybe that would have been. But it seems like across the board, every team's got that one little hiccup.
Right. And last thing I got, Shane. Again, I'm trying not to overreact here. But would it be smart for Lane Kiffin to jump ship and go somewhere else? Same thing we were saying about Florida, weeks ago. Go somewhere where they're desperate for a winner, somewhere where they will give all into NIL.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't know how you ask these fans for more money when this is what the product you gave them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think of where that would be. Maybe like a North Carolina. I mean, hell, I don't think they could raise a lot of money out there. Southern Cal would be a good one, but hell, he ruined that job already. So,
yeah.
But if a job like that came open in LSU, perhaps, I feel like LSU fans would commit to building. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it almost seems like this was his shot to prove himself. And again, he may stay there, and he may continue to win 8-9 games every year, and maybe they'll be happy. But this was supposed to be more. This was bare minimum. This was playoff or bust. So this is damn bust to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's harder. Everybody knows it is. It's harder there than it is in LSU and Alabama and Georgia. So there are other teams, other programs. I'm not saying this is the last successful season Lane Kiffin's going to have, but yeah, it feels like, is the gig up? Are we moving on? Are we going to exploit something else, or are we going to try to dig our foot in the dirt and try to, create something? They kind of already have created something. He's got free range down there. So, and there is money. Boosters found the money. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's tougher now, obviously. It'd been nice to make the playoffs, and I would rather lose in the playoffs than not even get to the damn dance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't even get there.
Right. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think, I don't know that he'll ever be as popular as he was about a week ago in Oxford. I just don't think he'll ever reach that pinnacle. Like, yeah, here's a perfect example. Like Abe says, Kiffin to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Oklahoma. They'll give you $20 million to build that roster and start over.
Listen, we're already moving him. The U-Haul's going to be at the house when he gets back to Oxford. No, they're going to beg him to stay because let's don't forget where Ole Miss came from and where they're at now. You know, it's easy to kind of get caught in this little moment.
I'm firing him, Shane. I'm firing him.
Mike, speaking of moments, can we have a silence just for a few seconds and think about all those years that the Florida Gators sucked and how much we have enjoyed it? Because by God, Mike, they are back, and it is not good for the SEC. So, welcome back, Gators. Welcome back.
Now we're going to push it on them. They're a playoff or bust next year. You know what?
Yeah, the pressure's really coming up now. So,
all right, buddy. Anything else before we hop off here?
No, man. This is awesome. College football, I love it. I love it so much. And hell, this may not be the last one we do tonight, Mike. So I may see you here in about 3 hours.
Yes, thanks, Lane Whiffin. It's been a week. I was going to retire that name, but it's official. I ain't calling you Kiffin anymore. You're Lane Whiffin until further notice. Win you a damn big game. You know what?
Absolutely.
What a joke.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the